Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of the Seercast. This time is actually Seercast number 60, unlike last time, which actually was not. Because I can't count. Well, whatever. I'm ePiKnight, and with me today is Liem.
Hi, I'm on hashtag Team Horse Mask.
Yes!
Thank you.
More on that later. Ernj?
I am also with Lime on Team Horse Mask.
Thorlah? He might be in chat. Are you in chat?
Yeah,
he's in chat.
He's on Team Force-Base? I don't...
Wait, what?
Never mind.
Anyways,
just keep going.
Kitten?
Hello.
Fang?
RFD was an inside job.
Geena?
What? Rip me, rip Geena, rip everyone.
Rip all of the Geenas, including the new one. And Walter is here in spirit and in chat. So, today we're going to have a rather busy day of Seercasting. We're recording the October BTS Seercast right now, and then immediately thereafter we're recording the RuneFest Seercast. So if you're listening to this one first, if the RuneFest Seercast is not up either on YouTube or on the blog, whichever one you're looking at, it will be up very shortly. So just take a look.
If you happen to be listening to this from International Podcast Day, then one, happy Podcast Day, and two, give us your time machine. Because that was 2 days ago.
Because that was several days ago. But yeah, speaking of which, check out the Seer blog. It's seercast.wordpress.com. That is going to be the kind of hub for all things Seercast, including Citrus Edition quests, including the
We're also gonna do like some rune tomes. I think our next one's gonna be on magic. It's gonna be sweet.
Sweet.
Yeah. Or we might have a Stone of Javelin thrown in there somewhere too.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
We've got
also like behind the swords and maybe just like a random discussion. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll have stuff.
Yeah, we've got some cool stuff lined up. So, yeah, go check that out and check out the RuneFest edition of this. But before we want to get into the BTS itself, we do want to discuss a couple of the later updates of last month. So we'll go ahead and get started with waterfall fishing. This was from the Rune Labs idea from, what was it, February? March? Regardless of
April.
when it was.
Yeah, it was a bit late. It was April.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? Oh, right, because it's just a medium size. So, yeah, it was the medium size, quote-unquote medium, size update from...
Yeah, Fang's kind of salty about that.
Yeah, it's a very
It's why he gets so many kidney stones.
Oh, damn.
Oh, that is a low blow.
Burn.
Wow.
That is a very low blow, Lime.
Very.
I guess we know Lime's on his game today. The rest of us better step up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyways, waterfall fishing, it came out of the poll from a few months back. It requires 90 agility, 90 strength, 90 range, and at least 93 fishing. There's 3 different tiers of fishing. You can catch different things. Crystal urchins are now living... You're catching crystal urchins. They are now living crystal, and they apparently are breeding out of control. So you've got to catch them even if they're the size of beach balls.
Prisoners by catching
So
fish.
this means that like even if Prisoners is destroyed by like a pile of crystal urchins, we can always just throw crystal at Palm de Beach and we will still have the update.
Yep.
Indeed.
You can get aside from the normal XP, which is ridiculously AFK, it's what, like 130k an hour at 99, and it's literally completely AFK.
It's making people want them to let us crystallize barb fishing because it's like that AFK thing.
Yeah. Well, barb fishing was always kind of nonsensical to me, anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can do that stuff. It opens up the caves under the waterfall as a place that may feature in future content, which is kind of interesting. For each urchin you get a certain number of points. You can use these points to buy various things. including XP lamps and make your fishing rod into a crystal rod. And you can also get a new title because Titlescape, the Master Fisherman or Fisherwoman, is available for 1,500 points. But yeah, okay. So I know Fang, you had a bone to pick with this at least a little bit. So why don't you
basically
quickly...
this was polled as a medium-sized update. It was supposed to be fairly extensive, and there was a lot of discussion about what it was going to be. Plus, it beat me in a poll, so obviously I'm salty. But
PJ Salt.
One of the biggest issues with this is I'm just seeing a fairly boring AFK fishing area that wasn't needed for Prifddinas, should not have been in the most densely packed skilling area in the game, and it ended up pretty small. I mean, it's normal fishing with a couple pretty dull random events randomly, and that's it. There's some pets and a fishing potion.
But pets.
Yay. There's the hermit crab pet, and then you can buy things to put on its back.
No, I said but pets. Like
Oh.
pets
Like
are
pets.
pets are a
Like
justification for everything.
Yeah. I'm kind of disappointed with what they really turned this update into. I mean, it seems so rushed that there wasn't
yeah,
even
it
a
feels
mini
like-
map for the area.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
mostly
there's, like-
disappointed.
There's random areas that are blocked off that you can't stand in, even though it looks like you should be able to. There's
There isn't
completely
even a-
untextured rocks sitting around. It's really kind of disappointing.
It looks pretty bad, but
Yeah.
If you just
It's
have
just
a
AFK
mini
fishing, I guess.
all this scanning in the void stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a thing, and it's the reason it got shoved through is because faster fishing, and we all know. And I mean, we saw this, and we'll talk about this more later in the RuneFest podcast. But the players aren't particularly happy with the way that that Rune Labs ended up working out last year. So
Yeah.
I'm hopeful, and I'm glad that they're changing it, and maybe this can mean that we can resume having Rune Labs podcasts, because we kind of stopped doing it because it was like nobody
Also-
cares about this stuff anymore.
And like
Yeah.
there are no more polls, so
Oh.
it's just like
Yep.
for the past few months, it's just been just put your idea up there. We'll look at it when we can, and then nobody ever looks at
Yeah,
it.
so it's literally just
of course
become
we're gonna-
suggestion forum version 2.0.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it more, obviously, in the Rune Fest one, because they mentioned what they want to do with it. But even then, it's a little underwhelming.
And if I may add one more thing, in waterfall fishing, I feel like the whole update, it's part of the whole elf overload syndrome. Like
Mhm.
we've had so much elf that I feel like Jagex and the team were like, all right, let's just get this one last update over with so we can move on to something else. Because seriously, we've had way too much elf and
In
stuff.
6 months, we
It's
got
like- it's
7
just-
elf updates.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah,
Well,
it's ridiculous. Like, on one hand,
And it wasn't
great,
like
the-
small updates either. Always go.
So,
Go, Lime.
on one hand, great. Like, we hadn't had elf updates for 4 years. My quality's still good, right?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. We hadn't had elf updates for like 4 years, but then we had just a year, just solid elf.
more elf.
Saren, elf, Saren
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah, it's a
Like-
thing.
We need a palate cleanser.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't, even if it was like they just kind of semi-rushed this because they're doing other things, I honestly don't blame them. This is one of the updates they could get away with rushing. It's
It's that underwhelming as is.
it falls under the. It also falls under that kind of, well, we did this Rune Labs thing and it wasn't exactly what everybody wanted it to be, and you know.
Yeah. It's
Still
funny
like-
because Rune Labs has been such an interesting mix of content. Half of it has been stellar, and half of it has just been, well, okay.
Yeah, and the problem is, it's the half that is just like, all right,
Yeah.
has been the path that's gotten through, and
Yeah.
and that's and
Yeah.
it's like it goes back to that kind of tyranny of the majority thing that we've discussed at length on various Rune Labs podcasts, where it just
Indeed.
it's people less informed may make a different decision than more informed. And since the majority just see the poll and say, "Huh, that one looks interesting," click, and don't do research into it, it's
People will do it.
Yeah.
People will do.
and it's not
whatever.
something that we can really go about and change. It's not like we're going to go on a grand crusade to World 66 Falador and riot against the people that are mindlessly voting.
All 10 of us.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm sure we can spam the play pretty good.
On one hand, like, yeah, some of the updates, and I'm looking at you, Bank Quest, right at Bank Quest.
Right at Bank.
On some like those updates, they're kind of but on the other hand, we got some really good updates like Rune Dragons, The Light Within. We got a ton of
hey,
really
Bank
good.
Quest did win. Now we just have to deal with Tutorial Island Quest instead.
Yeah,
And hope it doesn't turn out to be full nostalgia quest.
Well, luckily the creator is like adamantly anti-nostalgia, so that's hopeful.
Yeah.
Guitar Girl.
I hope he ruins our memories.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Anyways, we should probably move on.
Yep.
As great as it is to rant about various things like this, we do need to get moving. We have a lot to cover. Also, from last month, there's a significant lore update to the Virtus book.
It's made during Mod Chaos E's tap time.
Yup.
It is a weapon that you can read, and I really love it. So much so that I went out to the GE as soon as I learned about it and bought it for 3 times the price.
Panic buy Vertex books.
Exactly.
wants buy books.
And then I sat down and I read it.
Good.
And then you sobbed your eyes out.
And and I read it again and again and again. Like, I love this book so much.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's really good. They've really put it together a ton of information, and if you really dig into it, you can like take a lot of stuff out of here.
We got some huge. What was it? Why am I trying to call it the wrong thing?
Reveals.
Yeah, no. I was trying to think of the specific location.
Oh.
Flam Tear reveals.
Oh, nice.
I always called it Flame Tar because
Oh.
flame and tar.
Fair enough. Yeah, but we got like huge reveals. Torva is from there, and it used to be a village that Morton is now built on. It's not just the temple.
I mean, we've always had like inklings that it could have been Zerosian in the past because A, it's Mauritania, and B, there's a Zerosian symbol.
Yeah,
in
do
it.
you not look at the map?
Though, I mean, let's not forget though, there was rumors going around for years that Flam Terra was just a minor god.
Yeah, there was that rumor,
That
and I
is
actually
true.
bought into that.
I liked it.
It was a novel concept. But anyways, back to the main book. It's a bunch of field reports actually from the
From the mages of Nex. Nexus
not
mages.
just mages. It's because Pernix is there as well. Torva.
Oh, true.
Hello,
From Nex's
this is
armor
Seercast.
homies.
Bless you.
Hello, this is Seercast plus 1 for lore. I'm sorry.
Let's
Anyways.
call them the mages and the armor homes.
It's just like that whole triumvirate there. But you get a lot of really neat lore. You get a bunch of that late Second Age Zerosian Empire, and everyone loves talking about the Zerosian Empire. Even I like talking about the Zerosian Empire.
I would like to burn the Zerosian Empire. That would be
and
fun.
how terrible Zeros is, and how we should kill him.
Burn the witch.
Yeah, burn the witch. Especially, we get a lot about those those Perinthrian settlements, such as
Yeah.
Karlangar, Gorok, Anakarl. What else? Daryak. Daryak's not one you hear about often. But you
No,
can
it's
see
very much not.
you can see very clearly from the text that Gorok is definitely like the Zerosian capital in Perinthry.
Yeah.
But you can also see that Anakarl is like the secondary city there. Like, it's also a bastion.
The kind of balance of power between the cities was so well represented in the story. It was incredibly impressively written.
Oh yeah. And you can definitely tell why Gorok was like the most important city in Perinthry, and it's because of its just proximity to the ritual altar. You can see, and it goes further into the ritual altar stuff when Glacies, or is it Glacies? Glacies.
Let's go with Glacies.
Yeah, we'll go Glacies. Who is in Nex's arena? Well, not arena. Nex's prison. As what is it? The frozen
the ice
Arcanist,
Yeah.
the ice mage. She discovers the black and purple crystals, and then she infuses herself with ice magic, and it gives her like an even greater understanding of ice magic. And then she passes this along to Umbra and Kror and Fumus. Yeah, Fumus. Sorry, I completely forgot. But
Everybody's names.
not only does it give you like a whole bunch of name drop of everyone that was in this Zerosian Empire at the time, and if you look really closely, in Pernix Quintus Nundil, I don't know how to pronounce that. I never took Latin. You can see there is a very clear reference to the Saradominist spy from the Curse of Zeros, Lenissa.
Yeah. Let's not forget the name drop right at the start of the book too.
Oh
With
yeah,
Perjor.
General's Perjor. You've also got Charn there. You've got
It's
Zamorak.
funny. We've had 2 things in a row referencing Perjor recently, which was really funny.
Who,
With
bef-
there was a
before-
minor reference in the Lord of the Vampirium, and then in the Rebus book he pops up too.
Before you get too far into Perjur, remind people who that person or being is.
You go ahead. Ben.
Perjor is that he's a scholar for Zeros. He has the book that writes down everything he sees and thinks. But Zamorak also casts a spell on the book so that he could read all the reports from Zeros as well. And he died in the caves on the way to the Elder Kiln, and that's where we first really got information about him.
And that's actually the last we heard about him until the Lord of Vampirium, right?
Yeah. Well,
Until
there was a minor reference with Firemaker's Curse simply because he mentioned that Char died in a cave, but we know that's not the case anymore. So
Correct.
Yeah, it's been years since we last got a reference to him, and then he pops up twice in a row.
It's like they just remembered he existed.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, I like
Also-
it though. It's good history delving.
Oh yeah, and then we've also got the name drop of Balustan, who is the terrible security guard who stops everything from happening.
I'm sure he was delighted to be referenced in the quest, or in some content.
But yeah, that earned some chuckles.
Yeah,
It's perfect.
it really
So-
was.
In this edition of the Captain Lime book club recommendation, I say you go out and buy this book for 10 mil.
Does this mean we have story time with Storyline?
Actually, yeah,
Because
because this is
that
a
thing?
book. This is a book,
This is indeed
and I didn't tell you
book.
about it. There
Yes.
was a story in here somewhere.
It's somewhere.
Somewhere.
I don't know where, but it's in here somewhere.
It was
No, you
definitely
cannot
in here.
put it into your. You can't put it onto your bookshelf, which is unfortunate.
Instead, you can put it in your hand
You can
and
just
then beat
wield
someone
it.
to death with it.
Well, cast someone to death.
You can't beat someone to death with it anymore. This is not pre-EOC Lime. Jeez.
Yeah. Die.
You can-
Not
you
like
can
it
kill-
existed pre-EOC, but that's
I get-
irrelevant.
I hope you guys can realize this, but you can kill someone with a lore now. You can kill someone with a lore.
Beat them with the law.
I mean, you could already light someone on fire with a lore. It just,
Oh, that's true.
what was it? The Char's book.
Yeah, you can light logs on fire with the lore anyway.
Or by proxy people on fire if you put them in the right
Yeah.
place.
So this is another step in our plan towards world domination.
I mean,
It's going well.
is it ever forward-moving plan? Anyways, speaking of world
Soon.
domination, also something that happened this last month that is hilariously worth mentioning is that Mod Stu mentioned on Twitter, very briefly, just in passing. So I heard that, or I've noticed that there hasn't been much discussion on the Nightcap of Terror, which is what is
And
it?
then
a joke
it's
item
one of-
from Dimension
yeah.
Disaster.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's a joke item from Dimension of Disaster, and
And then everyone on the lore forum collectively shat their pants and
was
then
great.
ran into the dimension of disaster.
it was, the reaction was, everybody was like, "Oh God, we missed something." And yeah, so they then grabbed the Night Cap of Terror and used it on probably literally everything they could possibly use it on, and they found that by using it on Sir Pryson,
This was very surprising, by the way.
I'm just gonna read it. Sir Pryson says, "Sweet Sarah Doman, you claimed the Night Cap of Terror and lived to tell the tale. How is this possible?" Player says, "It wasn't difficult. I just had to purchase an extortionate zombie outfit, defeat undead warriors, collect the vapor from their necrotic flesh, endure a series of fetch quests to Diet Orange, traffic in the criminal underworld to get a lockpick, and search through the Zemragul's junk in his study until I found it." Sir Pryson says, "His study? So you didn't have to endure the trial by underwear?" Player says, "Sorry, what?" Sir Pryson, "Zemragul's sock drawer. That's where they sent me. It was unspeakably vile. I dare not speak of it. You can't imagine the things I've seen. The nether garments, the black silk and frilly lace. I'm grateful zombies don't need to sleep, for I dare never dream again."
Quick, we need a graphic.
No, please.
Too much information.
There are certain things that graphics should not be made for.
Too much
This
or
is
not
one of
enough
those
information.
Not enough information.
Maybe it's not enough.
So yeah, that's a thing that happened and is hilariously worth mentioning. Anyways, so yeah, that's that. Unless somebody wants to mention something else, I kind of cut off the Virtus book discussion, but I think we're done anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
Should I go ahead and toss in the info about the Goebie volleyball as well?
Oh
Since we're
yeah,
talking-
yeah. Go ahead and do
So,
that.
since it's not since it's been in the game, at RuneFest today they mentioned that one of the major Easter eggs that hadn't been found from raids yet was Goebie volleyball, and they show a video where Deg or Ollie, one of them, walks up to one of the gongs, does something with it, and suddenly there's volleyball set up in the middle of the arena after you kill Beastmaster. And essentially what happens is there's a ball that you have to stand on a spot and it'll bounce back over randomly, and then the Goebies keep score for you. It's hysterical. I personally am thinking it has something to do with the strange glowing orb, and you have to, once you kill Beastmaster, you can just bring it along with you and stick it in one of the gongs.
So it's similar to the buckets of sand, but
yeah,
this
except it might actually
useful.
be legit. Yeah. So we're waiting for some confirmation. I know some raids people are going out to check it out within the next couple hours.
They've probably been checking it out for the past 5 hours. I'd honestly
that's
be
probably
surprised if they haven't found it already.
Oh no! It is Konami code with the
The
gongs.
Konami code! The
Wait,
You hit
Konami
the
code!
up, down,
Oh,
left, right, and it spawns.
Wait,
Oh
what?
my god.
Oh my god, the Konami code!
So it's not the orb. That is hysterical.
Up,
Wait,
up,
wait,
down,
wait, wait.
down, left, right, left,
So,
right,
like, on
circle,
your-
star.
So like
You
on
go
your
to the gongs. You hit the up, and then the down gong. You go to
Oh.
each individual gong and hit them like that.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And I
Alright.
don't think there's a BA.
We are going to raids right now.
Oh
We are
my
going-
god, that is brilliant.
I have a video of it, if you'd prefer.
That gets a complete 10 of 10.
That's beautiful.
Oh man.
Thank you, guys.
Amazing.
Now, we
Props-
still need to find out what the hell's going on with this orb. But
Props to those guys for doing
props
that.
to
That
those
is
guys.
great.
That's hysterical. Yeah, there's a whole crew here sitting here playing it right now. That's so funny.
That is rather cool. All right. Anyways, though, we should probably move on into the October BTS, which has a lot of
Yay.
cool stuff. And we will go
Oh,
ahead
yeah.
and get started with some more Goebie content, which is Call of the Ancestors, which is a new novice quest. And Fang, take it away.
All right. This is the first RuneScape's bottle quest, which is basically limited resource, limited new assets. Quests basically take place in existing areas, kind of thing. I like it because
And
it means
wait.
we can tell more stories without needing to make a ton of new stuff. It's
Kind of
basically
fun.
their idea of trying to go back to that, not every quest needs to be a huge epic quest idea.
I kind of want to just interject here. I feel like the concept of the bottle quest is great, but I'm kind of skeptical of how it will play out. Like this will
Yep.
require, like, it will require continual dedication from JMods in order to make sure that these bottle quests are still good in quality instead of just being smaller quests.
I mean, I don't mind smaller quests. That's fine too.
Yeah, I don't-
But I don't want them to just be. I don't want them to be like non-character driven. It's just like the small quest.
So
like,
actually, what they're saying, what they said at RuneFest 2 was that the goal actually is to focus more on being character and plot driven without needing to go huge and epic. So smaller scale quests that still focus on the character and the interesting things, but it just doesn't require them to make a ton of new assets.
Mm-hmm.
Which
So basically,
I'm
they don't need to
more
make
than
like
happy for.
they
It
don't
sounds
need
like
to make Prifdinas every time
Yeah.
they want to make.
They don't need to make a Tardiad. They don't need to make an Avena.
sounds
kind of thing.
similar to Broken Home. And
Well, they had to
Actually-
make all of Broken Home.
but
that was
they
a large
reused,
scale.
but they reused all of the assets.
Oh, that's true. That is true. They reused a lot
They,
of assets.
I
in
think
that.
they probably just created the outside, like the building itself, but then all of the inside interior stuff was reused.
There was a lot of new assets in that quest, plus a lot of new mechanics. So that would not be a good bottle quest, I would argue.
No, I think it's
but,
it's like one step above, like where you have
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
bottle quest, which is going to be a small scale, again story character driven.
Yeah.
As opposed to
I would definitely agree with that.
My major fear here is that it will be not like Broken Home, but more like Bringing Home the Bacon, which I still have terrible nightmares
That is
about.
because
Ollie
of your faith.
said it would be more in the style of One Piercing Note, standalone
Yes.
stories with
One Piercing Note.
limited resources.
Actually, that gives me a lot more
Except that-
confidence in this.
Except that One Piercing Note was anything but small scale in terms of resources, because they had
It was actually
voice
that was a
acting.
medium-sized update.
They had
Yeah, that was
voice
a medium.
acting. They made entirely new area thing. Like that
Yeah.
is not a small
He
scale.
said, I mean, story-wise, is
yeah,
what he was.
story-wise,
he said they were
sure.
aiming for. So very, very small scale in terms of the overall plot. You know, it's not world-affecting like
Yeah, it's
many
a
of our quests.
standalone thing, and it just
Yeah.
kind of gives background on
Self-contained.
various
Yeah.
stuff, which is cool.
Doesn't have
Yeah,
to be part of an
I'm
existing
very
series.
excited by that.
All right.
All
Anyways,
right,
more
I can
about
get
this
behind
one.
it now.
Thank-
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Back to Call of the Ancestors. The core of this quest is basically Aka Kanata wants to shore up the village's defenses, and 3 young Gobies will join you, and you begin to teach them, you know, how to combat and how to not suck. However, in the process, though, you get sucked into a bit of an exploration where you explore a Goebie temple, I believe, just based off the concept art and some of the stuff they've shown. And additionally, some teasing from Ollie today seems to point to the Earth elemental of Mazcab being involved in this quest as well. Yakamaru is the water, and at RuneFest today they teased an air and a fire. So somebody asked him on Twitter, you know, hey, what's going on with the Earth one? And he goes, you'll find out 2 weeks.
Oh,
Earlier,
well,
he teased that Call of the Ancestors is coming out in 2 weeks. So
there
yeah,
you go.
there's our Earth Elemental.
Yep.
So that's probably going to be what's happening with that.
So that's pretty dope.
Mhm.
The other thing that we know is there's going to be some sort of sizable rewards for people who enjoy raids, some Goebie-based cosmetics, and we're also getting some new hunter creatures. I don't know if it's a reward of the quest or if it's just coming alongside of it, but new hunter creatures on Mazcab are coming.
I'm sure they're probably linked in some way, if not
Yeah.
directly rewarded from the quest.
Yeah, it seems like they're just going to be roaming around the overworld, which is why I'm not so sure, but
Oh, maybe.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. They looked really cool on the stream they showed them off, though. I'm very interested to see what kind of levels they are, what kind of resources they give.
Sweet.
That's about it.
And I'm surprised that you got through all of that without mentioning that this is the
Oh yeah, I was gonna bring that
There-
up.
yeah.
Why
this is
did
the
you
first
tell?
time in RuneScape
Why?
history that all 6 difficulties of a quest will occur in a row without any repeats. Ever. It's
So,
very
yep,
exciting.
fun fact.
And
So-
that was not worth 5 seconds of my time.
I'm sorry, Lion. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's only not worth the 5 seconds of your time because Fang has told us this about 100
Yeah.
times now.
If I hadn't told you this a million times, you'd be like, "Oh, that's an interesting fun fact," and then we'd move on.
See,
Yes.
see, Hamlet thinks it's mildly interesting. Jeez.
Mhm. Thanks,
so,
Hamlet.
so ungracious, Lime. God.
I'm pleased.
Anyways,
Do you
moving on.
even know me?
I do, in
No.
fact. Anyways, moving on. The second update, well, presumably the second update of October is Invasion of Falador, which in the BTS video, Mark lore failed. Badly.
Oh
Yep.
dear.
God damn
Yes,
it, Mark.
I
Yeah.
was actually really confused about this. It is
Stu
the
cleared it
correct
up for us.
Yeah, Stu cleared it up because praise be to Stu.
Stu is the best.
All hail, all hail.
For this invasion, and I guess I'm going over this part. For the invasion of
Yep.
Falador,
Congrats.
the Black Knights are trying to break into the White Knights' castle, which has recently undergone some renovation to make in response to how epic the Black Knights' castle looks like.
Yeah.
And there are two
Oh,
artifacts
damn, our
that they are
castle
trying to
isn't
loot.
cool enough.
Yeah, they're
Explodes.
just trying to mess up the White Knight's day. There are two artifacts. The first one is the Sword of Radalin, presumably because it's a sword and it belonged to Radalin. The second one
Are you
is...
sure?
Seems
I mean-
reasonable.
Maybe. We don't know. It is not confirmed
it's not
yet.
confirmed.
For all we know, this could be the sword that killed Radalin.
The gasp.
I mean, it's got a sort of the Sword of Attila type vibe to it, because this is like a great conqueror here, Radalin.
Yeah.
So
He was the man.
he was the man. And then we've also got the Banner of Faradorn. And I didn't know what a Faradorn is, but apparently it's
I didn't
Falador.
either.
It's
Yeah,
apparently
this
another
one-
word for Falador, and that word dates back to the God letters. So that explains why we don't know what it is. But yeah, Faradorn is
That
Falador.
reference,
To be
man,
fair,
did
I
that
told
impress me.
you about it and was wondering how all of you had forgotten.
Because who calls it Faradorn? There is not a single NPC in the game who calls it Faradorn, but I guess it works.
Now there will be.
So yeah, now there will be. We will be searching for the Banner of Faradorn, and as well as the Sword of Radalin. And I'm very excited about this because Falador looks wonderful. It looks fantastic. It is a great step up from the off-white brick that was formerly there. That was
From
What is
2002.
it?
It's now off-white brick and blue.
Yes.
and
So,
blue.
yeah,
It's a win.
Also some fancy statues and a lot more Ceradoma symbols.
And a lot more Sarah derping.
And
A
that
lot more
is something
reason to
that I
hate
can
it.
get behind.
God damn.
I'm hoping that they updated the insides of the buildings too.
They have.
We didn't get a good look when they showed the preview footage, but at least
It's probably
Stu
the
was
same old
answering,
2002 graphics.
Stu was answering questions on Twitter and showing off pictures of the interiors. So they've done a texture update and some moving around of things as well.
okay, good.
Finally.
I
So
know
yeah, it will look fantastic.
It will.
And this is all coming with what is it? A mini quest?
Mhm.
And
A mini quest where you're hunting something down, and an event in the park that also has something to do with treasure hunter. And
yeah.
that we're digging up some sort of magical hidden chest of something that we don't know what's inside, but the community has to help open it.
Community has to
think
help do
that's-
something. Rip everything.
That's unfortunate.
Good luck, guys. No chance.
In
remember
addition,
how? Remember the last time we did a community-run event or a community-based event outside of Falador with the
Yep.
statue or the stone thing, and
Yep.
Yeah,
we
the flipping
technically
stone.
failed the number we were supposed to get.
Yeah,
but
they
Jagex
gave it to
kept
us
anyway.
anyway. Oh well. And I'm sure they were like, oh god damn.
It's like,
Damn it.
okay, we made the assets. Let's just put it in anyway.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's tiny.
It is.
But yeah,
Before we move on, yes, the BTS says Banner of Radalin.
It's wrong.
We bothered Stu about it, and like we mentioned earlier, he told us that the BTS is indeed wrong. It is the Banner
2 months
of
in a row.
Farador.
Hype.
Mod Mark lied to us.
First
Why?
the Hunter Wreck, and now the Banner. Man, they need some better editors.
In any event,
Yeah.
we are very excited for this event. It's borrowing a bunch of the event stuff from previous world events, but this is from what I understand, it's a world event but doesn't have the gods,
Mhm.
which
The world
which
event
is
without
nice.
the gods, and you can't see how how well either side is doing until the end.
Yeah.
Yes, and like that is the best part because it stops like
Yes.
the mass hysteria.
So
And there's
kinda-
no side hopping required. You can join either side and do whatever you want at any time without any loss of anything.
so
It also it won't affect your Master White Knight ranking at all.
you can get recommendations for it though, or whatever that is. Right? What commendations? Commendations.
That's the rewards. That's part of the rewards. But your Master Knight ranking won't go up or down based on what happens in this event.
And we
And-
all know, of course, that the Black Knights will win as soon as any White Knight says the word Saradomin.
For Sarah Dalt murdered.
Rip.
Yeah,
And it is worth noting that there will also be bonuses to everybody's favorite skilling spot, the Artisan's Workshop, and
Yes.
to the
I
hardest
thought-
boss in the game,
wait,
according to
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Walter, the giant
I-
mole.
I thought you meant the giant mole was the skilling spot.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
My mistake.
Yeah, it's the other way around.
But I was
Artisan's
saying that
Workshop is
everybody's
the boss.
favorite skilling spot is the Artisan's Workshop, and the giant mole is just another skilling spot.
Well, according to the way we did the Clan Quest Cup, we literally used the giant mole as a Slayer training spot.
Yeah.
We would
Nice.
force it for hard mode and then extend it and then just have people leech for it. It was beautiful.
And this is in terms of the scrying pool.
Whatever works.
Yeah.
Alright, so that pretty much covers the invasion of Falador.
One
Or-
additional
or
thing,
not.
since we skipped over it with the commendations, you can get XP lamps, bobblehead pet
Oh,
knights,
jeez.
a Fangride mace joke weapon, and an upgrade for the banner. And then the way you earn these is you kill people, kill the champions, demolish or fix catapults, pop balloons, and care for the sick and wounded. So you can get some XP. A couple different skills. There's combat, construction, woodcutting, herb lore, and HP, I believe.
Sweet.
So
Alright.
it's entirely skiller friendly. You can disable any and all combat XP. So you can even, as a skiller, go and kill the knights, and they won't give you combat XP. They also use abilities and scale to your level.
Gasp. But
Yes.
yes. Anyways,
That's it now.
yeah.
Carry on.
Now I think we've covered everything with the invasion of Falador, at least that we know. But yeah, so that brings us to the next thing, which is something that I'm personally really interested in. That's virtual leveling. So while this may not appeal to people who are lower level, like certain Lime.
How about you shut up, you
You gotta be able to take it too, Lime. But yeah, so while this may not appeal to some people, for the more higher level, like super high level players, especially those who are either approaching maxed or beyond maxed,
Ching hype.
yeah,
Suck it, Rick.
he's not even here.
I know.
Oh,
You can't
that's
talk
why.
back.
Fair enough.
That's the whole point.
But yeah, so it's an opt-in. It's basically just an opt-in method to see the virtual level of a skill. So it's a cosmetic change to the skill interface that is available for those that want them to show off skills that they have virtually maxed, and by maxed in this case we mean 120. So you can. So not only does it show off to other people, but it lets you know without having to go through the kind of hoops that you have to right now, how much XP you need to get to, say, runecrafting level 107, or summoning level 115. Like, just the kind of pseudo-arbitrary number levels that people still like to track. I know I'm not the only one that sets...
Yeah, pseudo arbitrary number levels. They're there only to boost people's egos.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, who doesn't like a good ego boost?
Mm-hmm. And then there's also the whole, you can put, like, there's the colors that go around your skills that are maxed out. If you've got 120 or it's like 200 mil, you can get a symbol that you can
You
select.
put a
next to the
star
skill.
sticker on your
Yeah. Quite literally, you can put a star sticker. You can
Yeah.
put a skull sticker. Edgy as you want. It's
You
really
can-
cool though.
Really all this updates about is stickers, and that's all that matters about it. You know?
Stickers and colors and awesome.
My only real beef with it is, like, this is on the serious note, not like the fake, fuck you guys.
Yep.
My only real beef with it is that I feel like it will sponsor elitism. But
You
then
can't
again, like,
you can't quick check them. You can't quick check them. So good luck with that.
Well, okay then.
To
Okay.
be fair. So you can't just stand there and somebody goes, my level's 99, and somebody else goes, yeah, bitch, my level's 120. Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, that is a good thing that they're not adding in, is that you still can't quick chat them. So it's just I don't know. It was a little bit vague.
Admittedly,
on the
they wanted to put it in, but they couldn't.
Yeah, it was a little bit vague on the on the video that they showed for it. I guess it was in the BTS. Actually, it was on Chaos.
It was on the stream. They put it in the live stream.
Yeah, but there was something about that I didn't quite understand about the the other people's examine texts. So if they have it on and you don't, do you see their 10 whatevers?
So if you have it on, everybody displays their numbers. If you have it off, nobody displays their numbers.
Okay. So if you have it on, it doesn't matter if the other person has it on. They're showing the 10 whatever.
Yep.
Okay, fair enough.
So basically, if you have it on, then people can still be better than you.
Yes. If you have it
All right,
off,
great.
you're equal with everybody, Lime. Except for when you're not.
Except for when you're not. Except for when you have, I don't know.
Low summoning, maybe?
Actually, I don't have any idea what your low levels are.
Wow.
Well,
But
I
at
have a
least
good strength
you're
level.
not like
That's true.
what's level like a certain Balor is.
Yeah.
He is also not here, so he.
We can talk
Yeah,
about
he's-
him.
Can't defend himself.
Yeah.
He can't defend himself yet. Don't worry, next cast.
You mean 2 casts from now?
Oh,
Alright.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, 2
from-
casts.
that's-
Yeah. Anyways, so that's virtual leveling. Next up, we have the Halloween event, which is
King Hitchy hype!
Yes, all hail King Itchy, which will now be the.
I still think of it as the Lime versus Fang event.
It is pretty much
It
the
really
Lime
is.
versus Fang
Yep.
event because it's Amascut versus King Itchy.
And we're gonna kick your face in.
Yes. Because all hail King Itchy. But yeah, we're gonna take a portal to the bridge across the River Numenon. Jump into rickety boats.
Phenomena. Do.
Oh, jeez. Jump into rickety boats and gather wayward souls. You can then escort them across the bridge while fending off devourer beasts with either combat or divination. That option is interesting, to say the least. And then the Avatar of Amascut is the final challenge to be defeated. Defeat her together, and the way will be free for the souls to move on to the next life. They
She
do
gonna
not
kill everybody.
They do not clarify what the next life entails for Gillenorians. So, yeah. Rip Hazelmere. Anyways. Rewards include new gravestones, a death animation, a pet, and an item for herblore and fire-making fans. And there will also be a quicker and more efficient ectofuntus in the area to help with prayer. Wait, the ectofuntus, I forgot that was even a thing.
Yeah.
Like, the
I
deadest
wonder
of
if
dead content.
I wonder if we're gonna get ecto tokens from that too, and still not have a way to use them.
Yeah, I know, right? How many
Um,
times has that been brought up? Like, getting a new use for
Years and
ectotokens.
years.
Yeah.
and
It could have been.
years and
Has it been
years.
a decade? It
It's,
may have
it's
been.
gotta
Find
be
out.
close to a decade.
It's closing in, but while Fang is finding that out, I feel like this Halloween event, it is a raids type thing, and the only thing I'm uncertain about is if it's everyone versus Amascut or if it's like.
It is.
Oh,
it sounds
okay.
like everyone versus
That
Amascut.
was confirmed during the discussion thing that Mod Avatar had with future updates, or rather the couple 30 people that bothered to respond.
Right.
Yeah, it's everybody versus the Avatar of Amascut. He wanted to do it versus, but he didn't. He was certain that Amascut would lose because he didn't think enough people would side with her.
That's true.
So he thought it'd be more interesting to just go ahead and do, an Iclaran versus Amascut where the players are on Iclaran's side. It made the most sense, especially wise.
You can't side against the Morgan Freeman of RuneScape. You just
Plus,
can't.
we also know that technically, Amascut shouldn't be able to have followers. So
Oh yeah, it's a lore fail too.
it has been 1 year and 10 months since the Ectofundus came.
1 year? I think you're
1 year,
off
or
by a
10
factor of 10.
10 year, 10 months.
You
There
just
we go.
cake faced
Nice.
the year.
Yeah.
Wow.
I missed a zero. My zero key was sticky.
Yeah, you,
in my
you
head.
have faced.
Oh, you just
So yeah,
cat-faced.
10 years, 10 months, and change.
That is a long time without any real use for Ecto tokens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be good use, just have something.
The only
You can buy undead
there are
tokens.
2 uses: entering the town and buying ale yeast.
Okay, time to
And going to
stock up.
Dragon Tooth. But then
Lots
that
of-
gets
Well,
eliminated.
that's free now too.
Or gets eliminated
That
by...
has been free.
Oh, has it? I thought it got
They
eliminated
turned
with...
it free with divination.
Oh, it was with divination that they made it free. Okay.
Maybe it was a little bit after, but it got turned free.
Give us an Ectofuntus pet that awkwardly bounces behind, leaking everywhere.
I want that. I do want that.
Oh, jeez.
All I really want from this update though is the Devourer title. That's it.
That would complete, well, like your name.
That would complete my account. I would
Yep.
be so happy.
Yeah.
It's all I've wanted ever since I got this name in like 2009.
Amos
Has
got
it
the
been
Devourer. And that was like 5 years before titles were even a thing.
Yeah.
4
I got
years.
this name before I knew I'd be able to start getting titles for it.
So it is a raids type deal in my mind because
Yep.
there's there's combat. B, you're like fighting your way down a path, and then there's a boss at the end. And my non-PvP or PVM mind pretty much added that together and said raids.
It's a divination based raid.
It's like mini raids. I mean, it's the event
fun.
version.
Yeah.
The event open for everyone without risk of death. I guess you could have risk. Probably safe death though. Probably safe combat.
Yeah. I mean, you're in the underworld already.
So King Itchy will just come over and say yoink, and
You're
He'll just move
you're
you
still
one square
needed.
over.
we can all have our King Itchy death animations on, so he can collect us from the underworld when we die.
Yes.
There's a new death animation coming too, which I hope is a mascot based.
Perhaps.
Maybe then she can show up and escort me onward when I die.
Or she just eats you.
Or
Right
eat
there.
me. Just eat me.
I would assume that that's probably more likely.
I would love that.
So now that you're gonna start eating yourself, what's next?
Oh, jeez.
I don't know. I heard it causes Ouroboros though, which is pretty exciting. Alright.
All right. Well, I think that covers everything for
Yeah.
this specific episode. So once again, we're going to be doing the RuneFest podcast literally immediately hereafter. So if you're watching this on YouTube or you found this via the blog, stick around or stay tuned, sit tight. The other one will be out very shortly. We also, I guess we should just re-mention the blog, seercast.wordpress.com. Check us out on Twitter at Seercast. There's more.
Don't forget the iTunes. That will be up as soon as we figure out how to get it working.
Yep,
Also known as Never.
I thought I was so close, and then it was just like, nope. So working on that still. But yeah, so check that stuff out. There's more stuff in the description, including links to all of our individual Twitters if you want to message any of us directly. But yeah, I think that should pretty much
We
cover
follow
everything.
back.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, so that should pretty much cover everything, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks for listening.